On June the 6th of 1944, the Allies broke through Hitler's Atlantic Wall in Normandy. And in the months that followed, they pushed their way through France and through Belgium and through the Netherlands. And after the Battle of the Bulge, on a broad front, pushed through the Siegfried Line. And for the Germans, the last major line of defense that they had before the Allies penetrated deep into Germany was the Rhine River. On the 7th of March of 1945, the first bridge crossing from the 9th Armored happened at the bridge at Remagen. And then on the 22nd of March, Patton crossed at Oppenheim. Just a few days later was the 17th Airborne jump at Operation Varsity over the northern part of the Rhine River. And right here in the area of a place called Koblenz, well, the 87th Infantry Division, which was on the far left flank of Patton's Third Army, was going to be making their own Rhine River crossing into the heart of the Third Reich. So right now I am in the city of Koblenz, and if you look at the geography of this area, well, there are two rivers that converge right here at this city. This river here behind me is the Moselle River. It flows up into the Rhine River. So south of Koblenz, you kind of have this triangle of land, or a peninsula. On the left leg of the triangle is the Moselle River. On the right leg of the triangle is the Rhine. And at the apex is the city of Koblenz. Well, on the 15th of March, the 87th Infantry Division crossed this river, and the 345th Regiment started making their way up to the city of Koblenz. We are here with some veterans today, with Andrew Biggio of the Rifle. We have a number of historians with us, and got a few cool things that we're going to be taking a look at right here in this area.
Yeah, so now we are at the Moselle River in the southwestern corner of the city of Koblenz, right at the spot where the 345th Regiment of the 87th Division crossed the Moselle River in preparation of the attack on the city of Koblenz itself. So we are standing right now in front of a train bridge, which was there back during the war, but of course the bridge itself was destroyed by the Germans to make it difficult for the Americans to attack the city. But this bridge was used by the 345th Regiment as a prisoner of war collecting point. And it was the first collecting point for German prisoners in the beginning of the city of Koblenz. And you can see it on this famous picture. You can see one soldier of the 87th Division with the emblem of the golden acorn symbol, and you can see the surrendered German prisoners.
Now, during World War II, the bridge over the Moselle here at this point was destroyed, but if you look over here, we can't say with 100% certainty, but it's reasonable to assume that we are looking at some battle damage right here on this part of the bridge. Right here on the other side of the road, just close to the river. If you look here, Well, we have some further evidence of the fighting that took place here. So there's a little ding from a bullet right there. This could possibly be some bullet damage here, and then also some more bullet damage right here. So as you can imagine, as these guys were crossing the river, there was probably a lot of lead being flung back and forth.
Okay, so we are standing here right now at the Moselle River in the southwestern edge of the city of Koblenz, and this is a spot where one of the most famous pictures of the 87th Division was taken in World War II, and it was taken during the beginning of the attack on the city of Koblenz on March 17th, and this photo shows a city sign of Koblenz at a junction at the beginning of the city. And in my back we have the house, which is shown here. You can see a bit of the corner of the house, and in the back of the house there was the first aid station established by the 345th Regiment, which crossed the Moselle River here, and the 345th Regiment was liberating the city of Koblenz.
All right, so that was a little bit on the actions right here along the Moselle here in Koblenz. We're now going to go over to the other side of the Rhine and talk with Jack Moran, who is a veteran of the 87th Infantry Division and was at the point of the attack across the Rhine with the 347th Regiment. We've made our way over to the eastern bank of the Rhine River, and prior to the 87th crossing the Rhine, well, the 147th Regiment was just right over here on the other side of the river in this village. And on the 25th of March, well, they would cross right here. Prior to the crossing, there was a smoke screen that was laid down, but the wind was blowing so bad that it just blew the smoke right away. And one of the veterans who is with us today, Jack Moran, was at the head of this amphibious invasion across the Rhine. And these poor guys were going to come under some just absolute withering fire from snipers, machine guns, and 20mm anti-aircraft guns that were up on some heights above at a place called Marksburg Castle.
Around 11:45, the engineers brought some wooden boats down to us. The boat, the top of it was the size of a pool table. No motors, just paddles. We supplied the power. And at about 5 to 12, the captain came up to me and said, "Jack, I want a radio in your boat. I want a radio in your boat. So you give me one of your men and you take Frank Nagel and put Frank in the boat with me." We did that. I put Frank in the number 3 spot right behind me. I could have put him anywhere in the boat, but I put him in the number 3 spot. And then we, at exactly midnight, we pushed off. Got out in the middle of the river. The Germans lit up the river like a baseball game at 9 o'clock at night. Started throwing flares at us. That's where the lighting came from, of course. Then they opened up on us with 5 heavy machine guns. And bullets were singing all over the place, skipping off the water, hitting our boats, hitting our paddles, hitting our people. I heard The minute the machine guns opened up, I heard praying, I heard cursing, I heard screaming as guys were hit. It was a really tough situation. And we had to paddle as hard as we could. We had to get to the other side. There was no turning around. No turning around. We had to go through, and we did. But we lost a lot of men in the water that night. Then the number 3 man was right behind me. And the minute the machine guns opened up on us, and there's 5 heavy machine guns pumping out about 1,200 rounds a minute each, a bullet just grazed me here, hit Frank somewhere in here, and killed him immediately. He fell over on top of me. But nothing we could do. And of course, if there was some immediate first aid treatment that would save his life, we don't have time to stop. We're paddling our ass off. We've got to get over there and stop the Germans from shooting at us. One guy, this is funny, in one of the boats, there's an engineer standing up in the back of each boat to guide the boat. Okay, out in the middle of the river, the minute that the machine guns opened up and the lights went on, the show was about to start. And the guy in boat number so I don't remember, I know who was the head of that boat. He started turning around. He's going back. He doesn't like what's going on over there. He's going to go back. So my friend pulled out his .45, stuck it right under his nose, and said, "You son of a bitch, you turn this boat back around, I'm going to kill you right now." And he meant it. He was that kind of a soldier. So the engineer thought, well, if I turn it around and go that way, I'm going to be dead for sure. I suppose I better go this way. I got a chance. And he did survive the night. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Let's see what else. So many things happened that night. Bullet was through my pants. Bullets were hitting the wood on my paddle, and as I was screaming and dig at my screaming dig, which means dig that paddle as deep as you can. So on one of those downstrokes, a burst of machine gun fire went just over my head, riddled the engineer in the back of the boat. He toppled over into the water. We finally got to the other side. We'd only had 2 men killed in my boat and 2 others wounded. But that's pretty good batting average for what we were going through. Let's think what else. Oh, we finally got to the other side. It's only 250 yards wide, probably, maybe it's 300. And we got out of our boats, flopped down the beach. We're exhausted. We've just been through a tremendous physical, emotional, psychological stress. It could be no more stress in the world than that. When someone's trying to blow your brains out. So, now, what we did, the minute we hit the beach, we didn't, we're not 19-year-old kids, we're not brains at that point in time in our life. We just jumped out of the boats to hit the beach, take our rifles and hit the beach. And the guys that were in the boat were wounded or killed. They went floating down the river. The boat was spinning down the river, up the river, not down the river. And that same thing was true in some other boats. You didn't bother to stop to pull the boat up on the shore and make sure somebody was okay. You just jumped out and let the boat go. And so, of those that were hit, three were killed and 1 was wounded. Four are wounded.
We've now made our way up to the heights here at Marksburg Castle. And standing up here, well, you can look out and see what a dominating position this is over the Rhine. Now, on the 20th and 25th of March, there was an American artillery bombardment of the castle complex. It actually wasn't too badly damaged. Like on the Rhine side, it messed up the roof some, but this castle ended up being one of the best preserved castles coming out of the Second World War. Well, after the men of the 87th crossed over onto the east side of the Rhine, there were some that went into the village below. Jack and K Company would be coming up here to the castle, though.
So what I have here are the dogtags of Lester Moses. He served in D Company of the 347th Regiment, 87th Division, and he crossed the Rhine River the same day as Jack Moran did, but not here in Braubach, but in the northern neighbor town called Oberlahnstein. And the 1st Battalion of the 347th Regiment, they crossed the river there, but they had also big trouble crossing because the Germans found them. They had strong defensive positions along the west bank of the east bank of the river, and so D Company and specifically A and B Company of the 1st Battalion, they had a big battle going on for Oberlahnstein, and they lost a lot of guys there, a lot of wounded soldiers, and it took them also 2 days to really secure the high ground around Oberlahnstein and the village itself. What's really interesting about the 1st Battalion is that some of the wounded soldiers of the 1st Battalion were captured actually by the Germans. They ended up in a German field hospital at Bad Ems, which is about 20 miles further east from here. And from there they were evacuated 2 times. Once to another field hospital in Kassel, and then to a field hospital in Bad Blankenburg. My own great-grandma, Jack, met her on a trip last year. She was a nurse in that field hospital in Bad Blankenburg. And in that field hospital, she remembered all the time she treated 8 American soldiers. Researching crossing of the Rhine and also preparing the meeting in 2023, I found out that some of these 8 American soldiers were from C Company of the 1st Battalion, 347th Regiment, and my great-grandma treated them, and on April 12th the field hospital was overrun by the 2nd Battalion of the 347th Regiment, so they liberated their own guys. And my great-grandma, she spoke English, and she was captured by the Americans as a prisoner of war, and they made her to a translator, and she worked the last weeks of the war for the 312th Medical Battalion, which was attached to the 87th Division. So this is why also these dog tags mean something for me. I got them from a free market in the US.
So Jack and the other veterans have gone inside to get a bite to eat and to warm up. And as we were coming up this mountain, well, there's this winding path on this final ascent, and Jack said that he could remember coming up that exact path, getting up to the top of the heights here to Marksburg Castle, except for it wasn't paved then. He said it was a dirt path at the time. And when the men of Company K and Jack got up here, they found that this ground and this castle was being defended by 1 German officer and 19 men. And they made a request that their sick and wounded be evacuated, but the American commander who was leading this element up the mountain said either everybody surrenders or nobody surrenders. So after a little bit of discussion and some convincing, well, the Germans here at Castle Marksburg ended up surrendering pretty much without a fight. But not before they had taken a toll on some of the men from the 347th who crossed over that river below.
prepared something for you. It's a picture of Frank Nagel.
I'll be darned.
And
That's
the old...
oh, I'm so glad to get this because his brother in Madison, Wisconsin wants a copy of Frank in uniform. He doesn't have one. And Frank normally wore glasses, but maybe for the sake of the film, he took them off. Oh, I'm so glad to get this. This is a treasure to me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So we also prepared some roses for you. So in memory
I
of
won't send
Frank
those to,
Nagel, you can throw it into the Rhine River if you want.
no, take a back to the kitchen. I'm going to give one to our cook.
Yeah, and we were thinking to throw one into the river for Frank.
Okay, you hold this.
I hold this. So.
Left-handed.
God bless you, Frank, wherever you are.